Are live. I just recorded a video talking about the timeless razors, and I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with this puppy. So the theme of this whole show is going to be, if you buy quality, if you always buy quality, you won't end up surrounded by a lot of junk. Okay? So this timeless razor, made in the United States of America, solid bronze. And we'll talk about bronze a little bit too. I've researched this topic a little bit as well. This represents the theme of this show. Pay once, buy something of extreme quality, and use it the rest of your life, and then hand it down to somebody, hopefully, who will use it for the rest of their life. And so on and so on. So there you go. Now let me see if I can find this stream. Here she be. And got a few people in the house already. Let's see who's in the house. The theme of this show. Let's see here. We don't have any comments yet in the comments. Extreme quality and use it the rest of your life. And but there are some folks watching, hopefully, who will use it for the rest of their life. While we're waiting for people to get in, and so on. So there you go. Table shaking. Now let me see if I can find this stream. That, of course, is the Grand Seiko Spring Drive. And we've also had a few stupid comments that we're going to also comment on. A few people in the house already. Let's see who's in the house. The theme of this show. We always like to have our stupid comment section in the comment of the show. Quality and use it. Welcome to the live shot, folks watching. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Learn more. There you go. How do I get rid of that stupid warning? That, of course, is the Grand Seiko stupid message. There's not an X to opt out of it. If I click on Learn More, maybe they won't keep showing me that as well. Already. All right, so I clicked on Learn More, but it's still there. We always like to have our stupid comment section. And we're not seeing anything in the chat. That's interesting. Welcome to the live shot. Some of the early folks, get off of this shaky table. Usually some of the early folks get in the chat real quick and say hello and want to be like the first ones in there. Maybe I'll go ahead and refresh this to make sure that everything is copacetic. We always like to have our stupid live TV. You never know what might be going on. Welcome to the live shot. Some of the early so no, still no comments in the chat. I wonder if the chat. Oh, there we go. There we got a comment. Okay. I was just wondering if the chat was even working. And so now we know that it is working. Oh, maybe I'll go ahead and the computer was playing. Oh, geez. So we would have had dual audio all that time. Sorry about that, folks. Shouldn't have the computer playing because that plays back into the mixer. So that problem should be solved at this point. If it was in the beginning, then I'll tell you what, I'm going to do another beginning of the show just in case I need to trim that part off. What we're going to be talking about is quality. And if you always buy quality, and here's a perfect example, this timeless razor made in the United States of America, solid bronze, extremely well made. If you always buy quality items, you won't end up being surrounded by a bunch of junk. What do you think about that? How's that? How's that for a theme of today's show? So, thanks for removing double sound. Yeah, you guys should have let me know in the comments when I'm doing that. Sometimes I don't notice that the video is playing on the computer. The computer's hooked into the mixer now. Maybe I should unplug it and only plug it in when I want to do that so I don't accidentally have that problem. But anyway, we'll trim that off the front of the video, and we're kind of starting over. So there you go. So we're also going to have a section where we're going to comment on some stupid comments that we've had, and we always have some stupid comments that we can comment on. So, do you use fountain pens? No, that's a good question. No, I don't. I do use DuPont. DuPont pens are the ones I carry with me. But here at the desk, at the workstation, and other places, I do keep Fisher Space Pens around, because the thing about Fisher Space Pens is they will always write. and they virtually never dry up. You know how you take a pen, you put it in the glove box of your car, and 5 years later you need to write something, and of course it's not going to write? The Fisher Space Pen will write every time. I mean, they're amazing in that regard. Now, the downside to the Fisher Space Pen is because the ink is kind of gooey, occasionally you'll get a little glob of ink get past that ball, and you'll get a little glob of ink. And some are worse than others. And that's something that you have to put up with. You know, everything in this world are all trade-offs, right? There are advantages and disadvantages. We learned that in photography. You know, if you want a shallow depth of field, you want a really good portrait lens, you got to pay a lot of money, right? But that portrait lens might not focus fast because the glass in it is so heavy, right? It might not AF, autofocus is fast, right? So they're all trade-offs to all of this stuff. And fountain pens, I never got into fountain pens, but they're cool. And DuPont makes some really good ones. And yeah, I have nothing against them. It's just that I've never gotten into them. My penmanship's not that great. But yeah, DuPont makes some good ones, and I'm sure you could snag some on eBay probably. Sometimes you'll see some DuPont pens at a pretty decent price on eBay. I have a couple of them, and I've carried them for years. One of them I've had since 1978. This one I've had since about 82 or 83, somewhere in that. Again, many, many years. So, and that's the thing. If you buy high-quality items, if you take care of them and you don't lose them, then a lot of these items will last you a lifetime. Goulot pens look to be quite good for fountain pens. Okay. Cool. Looks like a quality tie. Let's see where this tie came from. Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's. So yeah, it's a decent tie. Yeah. And it's very old as well. Very old. I've worn out a few ties. You get wear on the end of them, usually is where they wear. But they last quite a while if you're careful when you tie them, and they're high-quality ties to start with. They last a long time. So, good old days. Let me look at those pens. Let me pull that up here real quick and see what's going on with those pens. So I did a video about the timeless razor, and I'm really impressed with the timeless razor, and I'm going to go through why. Okay, so these folks are dealers. I guess they sell a whole bunch of different brands. Let's say shop by brand. Let's switch to the computer. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to unplug the computer from the mixer, just in case I accidentally play something. That way, it won't go into the mixer. I just got to remember to plug it in if I do want computer audio. Okay, so luxury fountain pens made in Italy. I don't see DuPont yet. Oh, the Diplomat. That's something different. Edison. Okay. My gosh, they've got a lot of them. For sure. I know back in the day that you wanted an 18 karat gold tip. A lot of times that was a sign of quality. Lamy, those used to be German. Yeah, made in Germany. I like the Lamy pens that you can get that have like 3 different color cartridges in them. Those are cool. Here's some made in Japan. Those look cool. Yeah, good stuff. That's another rabbit hole we can go down, is the whole fountain pen. The whole fountain pen rabbit hole. Okay, so you look younger than your tie. Good old days. Tie's a little bit younger than me. I think I was probably about 20 years old when I got this tie. So this tie is probably 40 years old. So it's younger than me by 20 years. Watched last night live show with Clyde. Says service for spring drives is 8 years. will last only 20 or 25 years. Did not understand. All the experts I've heard talk about the spring drive is it's extremely robust and it should last significantly longer than a typical mechanical movement because of the way the escapement's designed and all that. So my Rolex ran 20 years, no problem, with no service. And a lot of Rolexes will run 20 years with no service. So I can extrapolate from that, since the spring drive is more robust than that you're probably going to get 30, 40, maybe 50 years out of the spring drive. We don't know because they've only been around, I think, around 20 years. But the people that have had them since when they first came out, have had very good luck from them so far. They really don't require any servicing. Watch my video on servicing. Servicing is not a good idea. You should not service high-end watches. You shouldn't do anything to them until they are exhibiting symptoms that they have problems. Then you go ahead and have them taken care of. But just have a routine service done like every 6, 5, 8 years, you're ripping yourself off. Not a good idea. Watch my video on servicing. That's not wise. So there's that. Okay, so let's talk about the razors again. Okay, so here's the deal. First time I used it, I did a video, and I got a little cut somewhere. Anyway, and a couple little cuts on the, little things. But I shaved with it, and it went okay. And so then I got the correct shaving soap and a brush, and I shaved with it again, and I did a video on my second shave, and that shave went pretty good. Maybe one little tiny little cut, maybe none. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, I shaved again with it a third time, and went perfect. I mean, perfect. So the learning curve is not that steep. The key is you got to get the angle right. And so once I figured out how to do that, and you don't want to press, you want to let the weight of the shaver just kind of do its thing, just nice and smooth, right? So once you get those two things down, I think this is more comfortable to shave with than my Harrys that I've been using. And the Harrys have been the best disposable cartridge type blades that I've ever used. I mean, they're pretty good. You can get 2 or 3 weeks out of them. 2 weeks probably is better than trying to go 3. But in any event, this is even better. I'm convinced now that this is the way to go. And it really didn't take me that much time to foam up the soap and to go through the procedure and do it. I'm not spending the kind of time that a lot of people on YouTube do. I mean, they just go overboard with this stuff, right? I only did 2 passes. They're doing 3 passes, all this stuff, right? But, I mean, this thing is absolutely fantastic. If you're into wet shaving and you don't have a high-end shaver yet, handle, whatever you call these, I highly recommend going to Timeless Razors and give yourself a Christmas present. Either buy the bronze one that I have now, or buy one of their stainless steel ones. You will be tickled pink. And this one is great for beginners because of the gap and everything and the design. It's great for beginners, but it also is good for experienced shavers. So it gives a very smooth, very high quality shave. And I'm using the Viking blades. And they are also good for beginners, but also supposedly they last well. You can get about a week's worth of shaves out of them. My dream palladium nib, whatever that is. I bought Parker Premier for Christmas. Any thoughts? Back in the day, we looked at Parker pens, but we always bought DuPont. I think DuPont is a step up, but I think Parkers are okay. They're not junk. I mean, I think they're okay. But I'd look at the DuPont pens a little bit. Off topic, if your Badger brush doesn't foam up your shaving soap, you should clean it with vinegar. It degreases the brush. Hey, good topic. Good thing. Today it did pretty good. It's doing pretty good now. I'm getting the techniques down. That's not off topic. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about this stuff. So the way the razor did the job. Absolutely, let the weight of the razor do the job. I'm really impressed. I was a little bit, you know, apprehensive after my first shave. I was thinking, you know, is this really worth all the trouble? And you know, should I just keep using the Harrys? But I stuck with it. I did a second shave, and that went pretty well. And then my third shave, which was actually this morning, smooth as silk. That's just 3 shaves. That's not much of a learning curve. That's pretty good. Shaving is a pain in the just trimming. A good trimmer or well. So here's the thing. Shaving with this is kind of fun. I mean, it really is. I looked forward to shaving this morning with this thing. It's funny. I don't know why, but it just, and also the soap that I got, and you just feel better afterwards. It's hard to explain, but yeah. How about straight razors? You mean razors, not so. Yeah, straight razors. I mean, a lot of people are doing that, and that's a thing too. That's a little scary for me, but maybe at some point I'll try it. I don't know. As of now, I have very, very steady hands. Very, very steady. So I might be able to do it. But as I keep getting older, that might start becoming a problem, right? One of the reasons I have such steady hands is photography. You know, you have to have steady hands. And so I've always had very steady hands. So I think that probably also helped me with getting used to this thing quicker. So I watched the live stream last night as well and thought about Craig's GS when Hyundai's talked about the servicing and expected lifetime of a GS. Yeah, I don't understand how he could talk about the lifetime like that, because all the experts that I've heard talk about it that are really familiar with the spring drive and the design and all have all said that it should last significantly longer because it doesn't have that escapement, that back and forth wear and tear that a typical escapement has. So it's literally much smoother, right? I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it's just like so silky smooth. And there's no, in the regulator that's regulating that timing, it's an electromagnet. There's no metal-to-metal contact. There's no contact at all. It's just magnetically, you know, regulating the time. And so it really is, from a wear and tear standpoint, it's much less wear and tear than a typical mechanical movement with a typical escapement. So yeah, I think they're uninformed and pretty clueless. That's next level shaving. You're talking about the straight razor. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, scary stuff. Patek 5107 yellow gold versus Lange. Yeah, right off the top of my head, I would say go with the Patek. Let's pull one up here. Pull one up. Try to find a decent image here of the 5107. $5107J. Okay, so there's the 5107J, and I like it. I can take or leave the crown guards on a dress watch, but yeah, I like it. Let's see what else we got here. Here's one. The gold color, you know, I think their white balance was a little bit off when they took it, but that looks like the 5107J, so that's basically yellow gold. Absolutely. Absolutely, I would go for that piece for a dress watch. Now, I would be a little bit, for me, I wouldn't want the date because I don't wear my dress watch every day, and the watch would stop from time to time, and so I'd have to set the date, and that'd be a pain in the neck. So I would rather have something without the date, which is what I have. And of course, what I have isn't going to stop either because it's the 9F movement. It just keeps running and it's dead on accurate. So it wouldn't be as big a deal if it had the date. But the nice thing about not having the date is you don't have to worry about months with less than 31 days. You just don't have to worry about any of those issues. Now, of course, you could have this watch and not bother to set the date. That's fine too. I don't care. I mean, the date's accurate on my watch or not. I don't use it for the date. Let's see what else we got here. Make a lot of sense, especially that automatic is better watch if you want to last and pass it to the next generation. I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about the man. You people need to think about all this stuff. I mean, if you're concerned about your watches going on to the next generation, I think there are a lot of bigger worries than that. I mean, there's like their work ethic. There's like all kinds of things you need to worry about the next generation, and what watch you're going to give them when you die would be the last thing that I would be thinking about. I mean, some of these watch people, they get on these things that they get all concerned about, right? And it's like, my God, mister, don't you have a real concern to worry about? You're going to worry about who's going to get the watch in the next generation? First of all, most of them are probably not going to have a clue what the watch even is. They might even not want to wear it. There's a lot of variables there in that equation. I think it makes a lot more sense to buy the watch that's going to meet your needs today and in 20 years, and for whatever the lifespan is that you're planning on keeping the watch. Like, for example, this stunner right here, I'll be able to wear that for the rest of my life. It's going to be fine. Now, who gets it when I'm dead? I think they're going to be like scrambling and going after a lot of other things that I have before they're going to worry about the wristwatch. Like, they're going to want like the money and, all kinds of things, right? They're going to be worried about a lot more than watches is my guess. So, yeah, you guys got to think about your priorities a little bit, I think. I'm just a little bit confused here with all of this nonsense. So there's that. Seiko models were officially launched at in Paris, September 14, 2005, and went on sale the following day. So 13 years is too short for long term. Yeah, but I'm just saying the experts that have analyzed how these things are designed and how they work and all that have pretty much unanimously said that it's a more robust design than a typical mechanical movement because you're getting rid of that escapement, which is a major cause of wear and tear. So and the mechanism that they're using instead of that is extremely robust, the design of it. It's extremely robust. So, and like I've said, it's the least of my worries. Here's the deal. Think about this. If this watch quits, if this watch gives me trouble, it is gone. It is out of here. I don't give a rat's rear end about what it costs to fix it or servicing or any of that stuff. If it fails me, I am not forgiving, okay? It will be gone the next day, and I will have something else on my wrist. That's how I operate. I do not tolerate equipment that gives trouble. If I have a camera that fails me in the field, in a critical situation, that camera is gone, okay? My gear has to be reliable. Now, I do carry backups. The camera might not be a good example because I do always carry backups. But my point is, I don't put up with a lot of nonsense, okay? And it was the same way with my Rolexes. Any watch I have, I'm not going to put up with a lot of nonsense, okay? So if it is unreliable or gives any kind of trouble or whatever, I don't give a rat's rear end about sending it back and getting it serviced or any of that stuff. It is gone. It's fired. It's out of here. There are other watches I can buy, okay? And I will buy them, all right? So I won't tolerate it. And I don't think you should. If you're paying 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 grand for a watch or more, I don't think you should put up with anything but stellar reliability in that price range. I don't think there's any excuse for failures. Okay, let's see here. Screw the next generation, let them buy their own. Absolutely, let them buy what they want. What country are we going to give the next generation? How about that, sir? Hey, that's why we get into Bitcoin and things like that, where we're not dependent on any sovereign, right? We're independent. We have a worldwide currency that's not regulated by any government organization or any Federal Reserve Bank or any entity that can manipulate it or whatever. That's why we support something like that, and hopefully that'll take off, and then we can be independent of all the variables that come along with shaky governments and corruption and all that stuff. When you spend thousands of money, you expect to last a long time. All quartz fad died in the 80s. That's the reason they cost $10 to $20. So a 9F is more robust by all accounts. Just about everybody that is familiar with the 9F quartz movement that Grand Seiko makes, they almost all unanimously say it's extremely robust. So if you want a watch that is going to last and last and last and absolutely need no servicing and give no trouble, get a 9F. If that's what you want, if that's your goal, and that's what this is right here. This is something I absolutely do not have to worry about. This is 100% reliable, will be reliable 100% 50 years from now. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay? So there's that. My daughter can choose which of the 4 Rolex she wants after her. Okay, there you go. Tell you, that's not good to spoil kids. It really is not. It's better to teach them how to fish and let them catch their own fish than to give them the fish. I think it's a bad idea to spoil kids. So there's that. Talking about next generation, talking about durability of next watch. You oversimplified my statement. Here's the thing, and this is the other thing. I keep seeing these comments. This guy says, well, I agree. Watches are not an investment. But maybe we want to buy a Rolex because we want something that'll hold its value. Okay, if you're looking at it that way, you're thinking of it as an investment. Okay, and I responded to him. I said, listen, here's the deal. If you got to worry about the value of your watch, you're overextending yourself. You shouldn't have bought that watch. Okay? If you're looking at your watch as an asset, as something that you can sell if you need to get money, to get a plane fare or whatever, you shouldn't have bought that watch. You've overextended yourself. Okay? That's why these people are broke, is they're buying watches they can't afford. All right? How simple is that for you, Dino? Did I simplify it there for you, Dino? All right. And Thomas says ruthless. Absolutely. She likes the pre-ceramic Pepsi. Oh, by the way, I wanted to talk about that too. These case designs on these Rolexes. I watched the Hodinkee video. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. They did a Hodinkee video comparing a Omega, and they called it 3 entry-level watches with in-house movements. And they were comparing an Omega with a Grand Seiko with a Rolex Oyster Perpetual. And I noticed on the Oyster Perpetual, it looks like to me they've got that lousy case design. They've taken that lousy, squared off, not as bad as a Submariner, okay, but they've gone that way with the damn Oyster Perpetual. They've screwed it up too. Am I the only one that noticed this? Did they screw up the case design on the Oyster Perpetual 36 millimeter? Please tell me they didn't. It looks like they did. What the hell is Rolex thinking? They had a beautiful oyster case on that watch. Beautiful design. Timeless, classic, absolutely gorgeous. It looks like to me they screwed it up. Not as bad as the Submariner screw up, but pretty bad. Take a look at that. I'd buy an older Oyster Perpetual, guys. I'd skip the new one. That's sad. Really sad stuff. Most of us can't afford to take chances like you with 6,000 and just say, if it fails, it's gone. I'd rather get a Rolex and know it will last forever. Kitty, you shouldn't buy the watch then. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. All right? Again, 1 week's pay is what you should be spending on a watch. If you spend 1 week's pay on a watch, you're not going to worry about it that much. Okay? It's not something that is going to affect your life. It's not going to affect you financially if you lost it, if you lost the watch, or if it was stolen or whatever. It's just another day at the office, you just buy another one, right? If you spend 6 months' pay on a watch, right, it's going to be devastating to you. Not a good move. Not a good move to overextend and buy more watch than you can afford. These are luxury items, folks. Please, please don't go down that rabbit hole. You guys are going to stay broke forever if you keep looking at things this way. H. Moser did a hilarious video about the watch for the next generation. Oh, I'm sure. A lot of us don't trust experts. We know that automatic lasts. IM medicine lab experts say hip prosthetics should last 40 years. In reality, they last 20 years. Again, I mean, you're sweating over things that should not matter to you. You got to get your priorities straight. You're worried about 20 years down the road. My man, start investing, start saving and investing money. And then 20 years down the road, you'll be wealthy. All right? This won't be a worry to you. You won't be worried about this at all. Please, listen to what I'm saying. You're young. You have no clue, okay? I made a lot of stupid choices when I was younger, too. We all do. Everybody does. But for God's sakes, start saving and investing, and then 20 years from now, you'll have a pile of money that'll be insane, and you won't have to worry about it. Compound interest, man. It's the eighth wonder of the world. Compound interest. I love how 9F are so much thinner than the spring drive. Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect example, 10 mils. 10 millimeters thick. Looking for 9F now. Huge Seiko fan. Hey, I hear you. And you can get a deal on them. That's the thing. Get a deal on one. On eBay, you can get a deal. Just make sure you buy so that you can return it if there's a problem. Make sure it's got that, whatever, that eBay protection or whatever they call it, where you can reverse the deal if you want to. Make sure you got that protection. But I think it's a good move. That's how I bought mine. I'm not telling you to do anything I haven't done myself. I bought this 18-karat gold stunner on eBay, and I'm tickled pink with it. Physical gold on your hand gives you true independence from governments. BTC is stuck in a computer network called Internet regulated by governments. Not really. Not really. They are now working on, actually they have separate, complicated, but anyway, they have separate ways of keeping the ledgers and keeping the nodes or whatever they call them, even separate from the internet, believe it or not. I mean, they're engineering Bitcoin so that it can survive even if they try to shut down the internet. But here's the thing. If the governments got together, enough of them, and really effectively shut down the internet, I think you'd have a lot bigger worries on your hands than the value of Bitcoin or the value of your money or anything. I think at that point, we have real major problems. And that's where having stores of food seeds, firearms, ammunition, you know, all those kinds of things. I mean, we're talking Mad Max times when all of that starts happening, right? And so there are things that are going to have value, like ammunition is going to be very valuable, seeds, food, canned goods, right, with long shelf lives, those are going to be very valuable. When we get to that scenario that you're talking about, there are other problems, other things that you need to have on hand and be prepared for. So there's that. All right, so we got some comments in here. We're stirring some stuff up here. We're stirring some stuff up. I'll look at that email in a second here. Let me get, okay. Agree about do not spoil the kids. Absolutely. Hi, Craig, just emailed you. Okay, we'll look at that. Buy Rolex company instead of its products if you want investments. Do they sell stock? I thought they're privately held. I don't want to hold its value. I want to work 30 to 50 years for sure. I don't understand what he means. Rolex delivers. Rolex is a great watch. I mean, I wore them for 40 years. You're not going to get me to say something bad about Rolex. It's just that the Grand Seiko's a better watch. That's why I'm wearing them now. I can wear whatever freaking watch I want, right? And I'm wearing the Grand Seiko, and I'm doing it for a reason. So there's that. Okay. I watched it, the video. Okay. Maxi case is the new standard. Damn, that's a shame. When did the Oyster Perpetual, no date, just a straight Oyster Perpetual, when did it change to the lousy case? And what was the last year, and did they have the good bracelets on them? Because that would be the watch to get. Let's say it's 2014 or whatever the year is. See if you can, blue shirt, see if you can figure out when, what's the last year we could get and get the good-looking case and get a good bracelet. Because remember, the bracelets used to be kind of janky, you know, years ago. I didn't mind it. People bitched about it, but I didn't mind the bracelets years ago. The stamped, you know, folding clasps and all that. They always worked fine for me. I never had a problem with them. And guess what? Some of the newer ones, they're heavier. Some of them aren't as comfortable. So again, trade-offs, right? When you heavy up the bracelet, you're sacrificing comfort, right? Like the newer Date 8 with the solid center links is not as comfortable as the 18238. The 18238 is very comfortable on wrist, but of course if you abuse it and don't take care of it, you get that stretch on the bracelet, right? The solid links are less susceptible to that, but they're not as comfortable on wrist. So there's all trade-offs on all this stuff. I loved Rolex Explorer 1 36 mil. And did they screw up the case on that? They don't make that anymore, right? They don't make the 36 mil anymore. So did the last Explorer 1s with 36 mil have the good case still? Rolex sized up the cases so they can put more lume on the dials. That makes a lot of sense. I can afford it. It's about minimizing the risks. That's all. Rolex has historical reliability. Okay. All right. Oh, well. I just think people that keep bringing that up, there's got to be a reason in the back of their mind why they're worried about it. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of things I'm worried about right now in the market and different things. The value of my watch is way, 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 way down the list of things I'm concerned with. So I'm just talking about priorities here. That's all I'm talking about. The maxi case is too big and awkward looking. Yeah, it's ugly, especially on the Submariner. They just took a relatively gorgeous watch, and it's not just the lugs, it's the side, the way that the whole case was better designed years ago, back in the day. I sound like the old guy saying, get off my lawn, but I think I'm right. I think I'm right on this one, guys. I really do. You really look at the two and really compare them. Like the Rolex, the red sub that I had, and really compare the shape of that case when you look at it from the side. It was just really gorgeous looking. And now it's real chunky, real squared off, real, it looks like a a more inexpensive watch, if you ask me. Quartz watches are very good for someone who want to just keep track of the time, change them once in 5 years. What is the problem? Why should a watch last for 20 years? Well, the 9F will last a very long time because of the design. You got to read up on the Grand Seiko 9F quartz. It's a horse of a different color. It is designed to last a very long time. And a lot of experts say it will easily go 50 years without service because of the way it's designed. So it's amazing if you read up on that movement. It really is an amazing thing, the way it's designed and the way the battery compartment is insulated from the movement. It's all separated so that the lubricants don't dry up. It's just amazing, the design of that puppy. It's no joke. Always Spiritual 36 has had the same case for many years. It's the shot on the Haneke video that made it look like that. I've tried it, and it's beautiful. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Because, man, it looked a little bit chunky. Okay. Love my 39mm Explorer Mark I. For me, it's almost the perfect watch. Well, there you go. Here. You'll get bored of it anyway. Get bored of what? For me, if I have a tool that really does the job for me, I don't get bored of it. Like, for example, this razor. If it continually keeps doing the job for me, that's fine, right? But if it fails for some reason, if the threads, when you unscrew it to change the blade, if the threads get janky or anything gets janky, then that's a problem, right? But if it's continuing to perform and all, I'm good to go. I can focus on something else. Agreed. Not a fan of it. Okay. Nice watch. Thanks. Okay. Good choice. There you go. Be mine one day, early next year. Hopefully. There you go. When you get to that scenario, you'll sell your Rolex for a bowl of rice. Damn right. I mean, it's going to be, if we get to that situation, folks, I'm telling you, ammunition is going to be valuable. Because if people have guns and they're running out of ammunition, they'll trade, they'll pay for that. And if you got food, it's not gone bad, it's not radiated. Oh my God, we're talking about like the end days here. Trust me, when they get to where they're shutting down the internet, I mean worldwide, which is what it would take to kill Bitcoin, you're talking major problems at that point. You're not talking something minor at that point, because so much stuff is dependent on the internet now. I mean, it's just, everything's going through the internet one way or the other. I'm not talking about shutting down internet, just control of BTC deals through internet via... No. There is nothing that controls BTC. That's the beauty of it. It's so decentralized. There's so many nodes and so many miners and all that, so decentralized, that it would be very, very difficult for any entity to try to shut all that down. And also, here's the problem. You'd need a consensus. You would need all the countries to get together and agree to do it. If just one of them allowed it to keep going, right, then it still works, right? So you need to shut down these nodes and everything all over the freaking place. And I mean, there's millions of them, right? It would take a really concerted effort. Now, can they regulate exchanges? Can they regulate wallet companies, like not let them put a wallet on your iPhone? Yeah, oh, yeah, they can do all of those things. Yeah, but that's not going to kill Bitcoin. That might slow it down, and that might hamper it in some ways, but then you might have some countries and so forth that embrace it, like the Isle of Man, they're embracing it and so on. So it's not so cut and dry that that they're going to be able to really hurt this thing. I think it's funny to watch. I want to watch it. It is like the honey badger. It's hard to kill this sucker. I mean, they've tried and tried and tried, these guys. I mean, some big money, powerful people have tried to kill Bitcoin. And the sucker just keeps like coming right back to life. Okay, so where are we at now? Let's see. Why are the 9Fs so affordable? Does that worry you? That's good. If I can get a good buy on one, that's good. I don't want to pay more for a watch than I have to. If I can get a deal, I'm $3,200. This puppy out here to say hello. $3,200, solid 18 karat gold. I'm tickled pink. If I can get that instead of spending $10,000 and get something that really meets my needs and that looks really good and that's super accurate, that's going to last a long time, I think I'm all in. Well, I guess I'm all in. I bought the damn thing. Okay. All right, we're getting caught up here. Gold, canned goods, ammunition are your friends. See, I don't think gold, in that scenario, I don't think gold is going to be that desirable. I think the canned goods, seeds, to be able to plant, to grow food, ammunition, of course, guns, of course. I think those are the kinds of things that are going to be valuable in that scenario. Gasoline, right? It's going to be Mad Max time, man. Clean drinking water. All those kinds of things are going to be what's valuable. Did you had to choose between Explorer and Explorer 2? I'd take the Explorer over the Explorer 2. They do not produce Rolex Explorer 36 mil since 2010. Yeah, well, see, 2010 would definitely be the good case design. They didn't come out with the maxi case in anything, I don't think, until 2015, right? Wasn't it 2015? So anything prior 2015 is probably going to be a good one. Submariner looks more like SpongeBob. New ceramic sub is 1 billion times better than the old ones. Man, Dino, you got poor taste, man. It's an ugly case. Case is ugly on that watch. I hate to be the one to break the news to you. You need some therapy, I think. You mentioned the other day you like lume. Would you consider modifying the gold stunner's hands to add lume? Well, no, I don't. On a dress watch, I don't care about lume. I was meaning like an everyday watch or a sport watch. But a dress watch, no, that's, it'd be nice if it had it. It'd be okay. I was describing the perfect, if I had just one watch to wear all the time, it would have to have lume, right? But like this purpose I'm using this for right now, just a straight up dress watch, no, lume is not important in that instance. And exactly, the hand design is also very important. And that's why, like, for example, this one is so readable in any lighting circumstances. I mean, the hands are so thick, and there's all that white lume on them against the black background. It's just readable under any circumstances, extreme readability. So yeah. But when I'm wearing a dress watch like this, I mean, I don't even often check the time on it. It's just really an accessory. I do occasionally check the time, but typically when I'm dressed like this, I'm doing something where if I were to check the time, it would be rude. Like right now in the middle of the show, if I were to check the time, right? Oh, let's see how much time I have. You know, that'd be rude. Okay. If I was meeting with a client, that would be rude. If I was in the middle of a photo shoot and I'm checking the time, that would be rude. So I'm typically not checking the time when I'm dressed like this and wearing a dress watch. By default, that's kind of the situation there. So Rolex bracelet class before 2000 is like Seiko 5 quality, made of cheese and cookie. Yeah, see, I didn't have any problem with them. they were fine. They worked fine, especially the ones that had the flip lock, you know. They never came undone. We never worried about it back in the day. Like I said, we were wearing them. We even wore some of them with the Made in USA Jubilee. Remember they made them in the United States for a while? And they were like just wrapped around, right? And that's how they were on some of the older, you know, they were stamped and wrapped around some of the older bracelets. We even wore those. We didn't have any problems with them. They were fine. So yeah, some of this stuff that people like really get all bent out of shape about is like, you know, they have no experience with them. They never use the watches. So they don't have a clue. Half of these people don't have a clue. They've just never worn these watches. And they certainly didn't wear them for years. So there's that. So they create issues where there are no issues, is my point. Ask my 10-year-old daughter what watch likes the most from Honak video, and she picked the GS. She's smart. I might actually buy that one since it has the 9S65 mechanical movement, 72-hour power reserve temperature. $3,800. Hell yeah! Sell your junkers and buy that. Absolutely. And you can get it for cheaper than $3,800. That's list. You can get a discount on that puppy. Get a discount, man. Or buy it on eBay for even less. Buy it used. Nothing wrong with getting a deal, people. Happy Saturday. Absolutely, it's a happy Saturday. If they shut down the internet, I would be able to view all my favorite... I wouldn't be able to view all my favorite watch vloggers. We'd have to all meet in person. We better set a secret meeting place now so that when all that happens, we can meet. How about if it's winter time, we'll meet at the Sarasota waterfront. Okay, Sarasota, Florida, at the waterfront if it's winter time. If it's summertime, we'll meet in Maine at Bar Harbor. At the waterfront at Bar Harbor, Maine. Okay, so those are the two meeting places if the internet's down. Write it down. Okay, the waterfront in Sarasota, Florida, if it's winter time. And if it's summertime, the waterfront at Bar Harbor, Maine. All right, that's where we'll meet. Because we won't be able to do these shows over the internet. We'll have to do them in person. Luxury is something we can live without, but something that makes life a bit more beautiful, just like paintings on the wall. There you go. Hey, Craig, sorry I'm late. Just got off the Time Tellers live stream. Well, there you go. 2008 was the sub, I think. No, they didn't do the... I thought they did the Maxi case in 2015. They did it in 2008? That's really bad news. Hey, Craig, have you seen the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra? Isn't that the one they did in the Hodinkee video today? I think that's what was in the Hodinkee video. Did you see that Hodinkee video where they compared three watches, the Oyster Perpetual and the Grand Seiko? I think that was what was in that. I might consider the 38mm model over the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 36 or 39. No, I have to look at them. I'll have to look at those watches. I'm going to reserve judgment until I really examine the Omegas. Maxi case is being discontinued because of the Chinese market is blowing up, whatever that means. Yeah, it's. I think a lot of people are going to be stuck with watches that they can't afford and that they shouldn't have bought. I'm predicting that right now. I just love to look at them, but I'm not going to buy them. Even if money is no object, I'll buy pure gold bullion, but for some cases, I'd buy a G-Shock. Okay. Anyone here do the Red Bar meetups? I met the guy that started that whole thing. He was at one of Steve's events. We went to dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse there in Annapolis, and I shot some videos and we interviewed him. Let me find the video and I'll put a link in the chat if I can pull it up here. I forget the guy's name. I shouldn't say that. I met the guy, you know, but he's a liberal, so that's okay. I mean, he's a flaming liberal. All right, so let me see if I can find this this video. How will I find it? Let me search Steve. Maybe it'll come up that way. It was some months ago, but you guys might be interested in seeing it. I'll just put the link in the chat so you guys will have it. Let me see if I can find the damn thing. Where is it? Steve interviews Alexander Sherikov. Wonder if it was in that video. Here, I'll pull it up while I'm searching here. I think it was in this video. I think it's included in this. Let me just make sure. Let me see here. He's in this one. Maybe this is just Sharkov, but it was that event with Sharkov that the guy was at, and he was in the video. No, it's a separate video. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Go back and see if I can find it. If I can't find it here pretty quick, I'm going to give up. But he was there at that event, and there was a separate video with him. Well, you guys probably know who it is. But anyway, he's in one of the videos. It is what it is. We're going to give up on trying to find that. Okay. I bought a tourbillon on Amazon for $1,800. Ooh. I think that's $1,800. I don't know if I'd have put that there. What if I live in England? Get on a boat, man. There will still be boats after the apocalypse. You might have to trade some ammunition or something, you know, to get across the pond. It's made in China, but so what? Yeah, I don't get these tourbillon or however you pronounce it. I don't get the whole concept of that, you know. It's just those are just ugly watches. Maine, Bahaba. There you go. Then you'll have a mighty long swim. Sarasota and Bar Harbor works for me. Well, there you go. I wish the price crash would hurry up. I want a GMT. Be patient. Be patient, my friend. Patience is a virtue. Patience will pay off. And when everybody's panicking and there's all this blood in the water, blood in the streets, right? That's when you buy. Update. Let's go time check. Let's see. He says, update. I'm wearing my Steinhardt 39 mil Pepsi GMT, 12 millimeters thick on watch arm, using large button on the barrel cuff. Fits under cuff nicely. Well, there you go. Yeah, 12 mils thick is about the max you want to be getting it under a cuff. I'd still like 10 if I can get away with it. Our Red Bar meetups generally on the flaming side. I've never, like I say, I went to dinner with the guy who started the whole thing, but he's a liberal. But I've never been to one of their meetups. Okay, Alexandria and Hilltop. Steinhardt at copycat.com. Steinhardts are excellent value for the money. Yeah, I had one. I have got a review here on my channel of one. It wasn't bad. The Prius driving Craig calls other guy a flaming liberal. Hey, some of us conservatives drive Prius. Prius is a great car. I mean, I can carry my gear in it. I can carry my Segway in it. It's quiet going down the road because it's so aerodynamic. It gets about 50 miles to the gallon. Bulletproof, reliable. I mean, it checks all the boxes for me, and the chicks dig it. You know, some of these chicks are liberals, you know, by the way. The chicks dig it. So, yeah. Craig is not a libertarian. If I'm not, yeah, I'm about as libertarian as you can get. I mean, you just shut the whole damn government down. They said, oh, there's going to be a government shutdown. Of course, I'm here in the Washington, D.C. area, which it would hurt my real estate if there was a shutdown. So I'm happy there's probably not going to be one. But I told them, I said, well, yeah, if you're going to shut it down, just keep it shut down. They said, it only affect non-essential employees. Well, in my bailiwick, right, non-essential employees get freaking fired. You don't keep non-essential employees around. What the hell are you guys doing? No, they're clueless. They don't know how to. I mean, my God, you talk about people that can waste money. Yeah, they can go through money like nobody's business. That's why this area is booming so much. The economy around here is booming so much is the federal government. I mean, you know, of the 10 wealthiest counties in the country, I think 7 of them are right here around Washington, D.C., metro area, including the county I'm in right now. And Maryland, the state I'm in right now, has the highest family income, average family income of any other state. No state has higher average income. The average income here is like $75,000 a year, right? I mean, it's absolutely insane. And it's all because of the government spending and lobbyists and lawyers and all the things related to the government. All right, so that's it. Well, we won't rant on that anymore. I'm just pulling your leg. Okay. A lot of the taxi drivers near me use Priuses, so they must be reliable. Hell yeah, they're reliable. They're insane how good they are. They're about as good as a 9F. So there's that. All right, well, I think we've solved all the world's problems. Now that we're taking the piss. Now you are, I guess you meant talking. Now you're talking. The piss, Craig. Chicks dig a Prius. Yeah, they do. Hell yeah, they do. Let me give you a tip, because you're a young guy and you might need some tips. A lot of the hot chicks are liberals, okay? So if you can pretend to be a liberal for just a little while, right, and driving a Prius is part of it, you might get lucky. All right? Just giving you a little tip here, Neil. I'm giving you a little bit of inside info. You know, Audrey, she doesn't know that I'm a conservative. I never said it. I never, I know she's a liberal, right? All the hot chicks are liberals, right? So the last thing I'm going to do is let them know that I'm a conservative, for God's sakes. And of course, they don't watch this show. Hot chicks don't watch this show. I mean, look who's in the chat, right? So I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, you don't want to let them know. You know, you want them to think that you're a flaming liberal too. And pulling up in a Prius is a good way to get that going on. Reminder about the emails, the chat. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Let me check the email. Yeah, because I was getting ready to wrap up here. So we're going to look at this steel Crador. I'll switch the computer when I get it loaded up here. Oh, it's sold. It looks like it's sold. View original listing. Okay, let's see what it looks like. There it is. It's sold for, oh shoot. This thing jumps on it. It's sold for $1,292. Okay. Near mint. A good sign. Okay, so let's look through this thing. Box and papers. Oh, I like the gold hands. I kind of like that. Yeah, I like the gold emblem on the top. Yeah, this would not, you would not want to swim with this. It's got the correct buckle. Looks like it has a alligator strap. Yeah. Let's see what size it is. I'm not a fan of a steel dress watch. I'd rather have it be 18 karat gold, but still, I mean, that's not bad at all. Let's see what they say about 35 mil. So it's the same size as the watch I have on. So a lot of people would consider that small. I think it'd be fine for a dress watch. Let's see what else it says about it. Although there's a genuine box, there is a pane in the outer box. I don't know what that means. Lug width 18 millimeters, buckle width 15. Okay, it doesn't say how thick the watch is. I'm sure it's very thin. Yeah. Now there was they suggested on the other page. They suggested that look at this one here. Look at that, $542, and that one's quartz. That's what I'm saying. You can get deals on Cradors. They don't sell for that much. They sell for less than a damn Grand Seiko. The people say they're higher end than the Grand Seiko. I'm not so sure about that. They're similar, but I'm not. Some of the Cradors are really real nice, insanely high price, but some of them not so much. Is that a woman's watch? Let's see what size that watch is. I don't know. All right, we're gonna drop back and punt. Be careful on the Cradors. I think some of them are. I'm not so sure about. I'd be a little bit careful on those. Tread lightly on those. Why waste money on a cheap quartz? Well, some people just want to buy a cheap watch. Let's see. Watch a girly man. Schwarzenegger would say. Watch for a girly man. Yeah, Schwarzenegger has no class. Have you missed out on an eBay bargain, Craig? I got my bargain on my wrist. Liberals have something worthy in the end. Maybe I'm a hot chick. Oh, there you go. A lot of hot chicks are liberals. They are. You don't question me on that. I'm telling you they are. The majority of them are. 95% of them are. You play the odds, man. Let's see here. Later. Okay, blue shirts out here. Okay. Why waste money? Okay, we already talked. If aren't with anything, agreed. Quartz junk. Okay. A 9F quartz is fantastic. Okay, let me just educate you on that. All right, 9F quartz is not your ordinary quartz watch. So there's that. GPS for 500, you can have ETA 28, 24. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. So why buy a cheap quartz? Okay, thanks again for your time today. Funny live stream. Okay, there you go. Thanks. Okay, there we go. All right, everybody. Yeah, be careful on any quartz watches except for the 9F. The 9F is just super robust. But I would be careful about just buying any old thing out there. Absolutely, I would be careful. 9F quartz is the Lexus of quartz movements. Absolutely. It's just, you got to read up on it. It's a horse of a different color. So there's that. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm going to get something to eat. It's going to be epic. It's going to be fantastic. So, like, comment, share, hit the bell, all those good things. And my video, my shaving video, my video about this razor, I'm going to upload shortly. Be a couple hours before it's fully processed because it's 4K Ultra HD. Thanks again for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did I say thank you?